everyone, and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very sort of unique and unfortunately discontinued Victorinox Swiss Army knife. Now this is one I wasn't really aware of or wasn't really on my radar when I was big into collecting these. I still love the Alox models and I'm very much into them. I seem to now just keep the ones that, work best for me and, ones that really sort of suit my collection and carry style. Now this one was picked up by Mikey Newman over at Baldy's Blades. I believe we found this on the secondary market, might have been on Facebook, but it's really cool and it's one of the ones that has some really unique tools in it. Now stay to the end of the video, I'll show you what all these tools are, why I think it's so unique and what the name and model number is, because it's sort of a mix-up of two Swiss Army knives, this one. But yeah, let's jump straight into it and take a look at some specs of the knife. So this, being an Alox, is 93 millimeters in length, and to give you context of that, it's about 3.6, between 3.6 and 3.7 inches in a closed length. Now, being Alox, it's very wear resistant, but bear in mind, if you have any coloured versions of these, they can wear off with use. You can see this silver one's got some sort of dings and pitting up there where it's been used, carried and loved. You get the Victorinox shield stamped on that Alox, and you can see the pyramid style pressed out scales on there. It really adds a nice bit of grip to this knife. And on the back we have a little blank plate where special editions will have maybe the shop that it's a special edition for there. You can also get them engraved with your name or birthday, or a nice little message if you're going to give this as a gift. It's a two-layer design. We have nickel silver pins holding this together. You can see they're spun to avoid damaging this Alox, because it is quite soft, and if you try and peen it, I've tried, if you hit it, it only takes a very light tap and you can damage that, so that's why they've gone for the spun option. Nice and slender design. This one comes without the keyring, so you can see there's nothing on the back there, so it's very comfortable in the hand. One of the things with the keyring ones, I will say, that little tab that sticks out the bottom, when you've got it in your hand like this, you can feel it in the palm of your hand. With this, none of that whatsoever. So on the front, on the left hand side, we have the cap lifter with the sort of flathead screwdriver and the wire bender / wire stripper there. That, of course, is on a half stop, and that's really good for getting torque if you're going to use it in that way. Or as just a normal flathead, you can use it in this direction as well. Now, I have used this as a very light use pry bar. I would not be doing anything too strenuous with it because it is only lightly pinned with nickel silver, and you're likely to create some wobble if you're going about prying things. Maybe if you're opening paint cans that are a bit old that you've used before, and that paint sort of sealed the rim, that's really going to put a lot of pressure on this, especially on these two little rivet heads either side here. But get a nice action on that, considering this is a slightly older model. The tool's in pretty good nick. You can see you've got that Victorinox finish on there. It's sort of like a tumbled, polished finish. Absolutely beautiful. And the other tool on this side is the punch. Again, one of my favourite tools on an Alox. It's great for sort of starting pilot holes, for drilling or screwing in some wood, or punching a new hole in your belt, whatever you use it for. It's absolutely fantastic. It's great for scraping off paint and things as well, or just cleaning out under your nails, because like me, if you work outside a lot, you do get quite dirty hands, and sometimes it doesn't come off so easily. Like this one here, that glue has sort of stuck it all in. So you get the punch on there as well, and then we also have the main blade on here. Now the main blade, you can see, has had quite a lot of use, but we're thinking about sending this one back for a new blade. There's nothing particularly special about the age of the blade. It's just a 3-line tang. Victorinox, Swiss made and stainless on there. But there is quite a lot of meat left on that blade, but I've got some other bits I'm going to be sending off as well, so we're just going to chuck this in the parcel as well and just get a new blade on it, because there is a little bit of wear, bit of sharpened off at the tip here. But Mikey has put a nice edge on this, and it will be a user for him because he loves carrying these particular ones. You can see it's got a nice thick blade stock with it being the Alox, and the blade length for these is right about, yeah, nearly 2 3/4, and the cutting edge of just shy of 2.5. Now I believe they are about 2.5 with the full blade, so you can see little bits come off the edge there. But this has great action on it still. It's about a 6, maybe 5.5 to a 6 on the pull. That's what you'd sort of expect for a Victorinox Swiss Army knife. Nothing too major. And then one of the things that makes this unique, so now all the tools on here is what you would normally see on a Pioneer. So a Pioneer would have can opener, cap lifter, punch and main blade, and instead of the can opener you get the little pruning blade or the little hawkbill blade, and this thing is fantastic for opening packages. It's great for that clamshell, so you can get right in there and open up all the way around. Or if you want to open some packaging, you can pinch down this blade and you're not going to damage anything that's inside the box. Now, I know Mikey does a lot of box opening with his job, so he's going to find that blade very useful. Of course, it is meant as a pruning blade, so it's like a gardener's blade, so you prune like dead heads off flowers and things like that, but it's got many other uses. It does have a little bend in the blade here. It's quite hard to see on camera, but that's going to get that one replaced as well. Just have a fresh new blade on there. But yeah, isn't that really interesting? It's some of the models they made were very similar to other ones, just with very slight changes. Now this is called the Pioneer Rancher. It's absolutely fantastic. It's basically a slim version of the Swiss Army 7, which would have the saw and that as well. So minus the saw, and then you get this very compact version. This is the one I would much rather prefer to carry than the Swiss Army 7. I don't really have much use for the saw. It's sort of, not that it's redundant to me, but if I'm going out camping and things, I generally take a proper bushcraft style saw anyway. I wouldn't be taking this as the main tool. Now, the model number for this, there's two model numbers, one for the early version with the old cross, which is just like a plus, and then this version, which is the newer version, which is 0.8140.26. So with all ANOX, it's quite a mouthy model number, but that is the Pioneer Rancher, and that is probably a Victorinox Swiss Army knife you've never heard of, and it's one of the coolest ones. I love finding these ones with the different bits and pieces, and there's loads of one layer ones with different tool sets. There's even a single layer with just the electrician's blade, and I think that'll be really useful, especially for someone that does sort of electronics and loves that sort of stuff. But it's absolutely fantastic. I've really sort of taken a massive interest into the ALOX models. Not that I wasn't before when I was collecting Victorinox madly, but I was more into the 91 and 84s, and now I can wholeheartedly say I prefer the ALOX, and I think you can see why, looking how cool this is. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to like, subscribe and ring that bell for notifications, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.